When the man spoke, she became a hollow puppet, and the part of her that could resist vanished.
I'll be very upset if you vomit in this car. Big girls don't do that.
It was dark outside. An occasional neighborhood lamppost crept past the windows of the long black BMW. The car rode quietly as gravel crackled under the tires. Nicole looked at the bearded man sitting beside her in the back seat, a 30-something who looked like a military guy. His beard pushed on the collar of his flannel shirt. The 24-year-old yoga instructor heard herself say, "No, they don't. Why am I agreeing with him?" She blinked heavy eyes at the bearded man beside her, squinting to bring his features into focus. It was no use. The dense white fog that had been clouding the edges of her vision for the last day wouldn't disperse. Her mind sagged under the weight of that fog, and it was an effort to stay conscious. This man had done this to her somehow, and she had become used to it over the last 24 hours. She had never killed anyone until 20 minutes ago, and the man with the beard had told her to feel just fine with it. She didn't feel much of anything at all, but somewhere inside of her, there was disagreement. Like in her belly, it wanted out. The leather seat smelled like luxury. She leaned her head against it, hoping the smell would keep her mind off everything. The bearded man watched her. His gaze seemed paternal. "I feel like a child inside. He's enjoying it." The staccato click of the BMW's turn signal sent her attention forward to an unfamiliar neighborhood appearing in the windshield. "We're almost there," said the older man behind the wheel. The driver wore a sharp suit that reminded her of her dad. The bearded man took in a slow, calm breath. "His breathing is perfect. He would be great at yoga." He leaned forward and grabbed the side of the driver's seat. "Make yourself safe now, Mike." She turned her head to see the driver pulling at a wire from somewhere beside him. He fumbled with it for a bit, producing a set of earbuds, and pressed them deep into his ears. Jazz music blasted from the tiny speakers. The driver reached beside him again and found a set of hearing protection earmuffs, like the construction workers behind her yoga studio wore. He steered with his knee while he pulled them onto his head, pushing them against his ears. He then grabbed the wheel, lifted his hand, and shot a thumbs-up gesture to the beard man. The beard man patted the driver on the shoulder, then turned back to Nicole. He sat back into his seat and looked her body over, and his lips squeezed together in what seemed like shame, maybe a regret.
"Nicole, you're so gorgeous, and you did a great job tonight. Are you ready for this to be over?"
Her face was still resting against the seat, but she felt herself nodding. A second later, there was a hand on her shoulder, and the beard man spoke a word in a deep voice that sent ice-cold electricity down her spine.
"Listen."
She knew he was saying that phrase again. She heard the second word,
"Nicole,"
and felt a forceful wave of gravity pull her into the seat. She heard the echo of a few more words she was never quite able to distinguish. Part of her mind went somewhere else. The part of her that stayed with this man would do things she didn't like. She had only known him for a day. Her life was ruined. She was ruined. All because she had raised her hand at dinner 28 hours ago.